Yeah, what is good? My anniversary. What is good, yo? Guys, if you know who the character I'm playing and why I'm playing it because of this episode, you're a real one, and I'll explain it at the end of the episode if you don't understand the reference of the character and why I'm doing it. I mean, you'll probably understand it when I start talking about this week's episode and stuff, but if not, I will let you in on at the end. But overall, this week's episode is definitely something of a little bit of horror and a little bit more of where the monsters in this world could actually be from, right? Like, we didn't really get all that much of a conclusion of if these monsters existed before the big explosion or if because of the explosion the monsters then were created. And I think this might be that, I don't know, a little bit of both. Like, either monsters were already being experimented on because, as we know, this place had been broken, or like some of the testing species had broken out, and ever since then, I'm guessing the operation was just shut down, right? Because of the way it looks, either it was shut down or the breach was so severe that people lost their lives there, and they kind of just, took their name out of it. But the darkest part comes when our characters show up to a field of bodies and no real explanation as to who could have done it and how quickly someone had done it. But we learn very quickly that it just looks all too like messy to be just humans going in and killing them for whatever reason. So that aspect of the information more or less gives us an opening to understand, okay, this clearly wasn't humans. It might have been a wild animal, but if it's that tusk subject that they're talking about, how capable is this thing, and what is it still doing, uh, this close to where it had been experimented on, where it had been created, if not uh, at least tortured, like hurt and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy that it's back here or like close in this area, and it gives me this weird feeling that we're gonna learn so much more about that symbol that she winds up finding. But of course, this symbol not only ends up in a place where, uh, everybody of the villagers and whatnot were seemingly getting tested on, but she then finds test tube. Well, there was test tubes with that same emblem on them. Like, the government who was there, or the organization that was there, are at least feeding or injecting something into these quote unquote animals. But to see how capable this monster was in the case of taking damage, taking falls, taking things falling on it, um, it was durable, and it was very deadly in the case of being fast and almost tactical in a way, finding blind spots and running uh, as fast as it can to those spots to then approach from the back or something along those lines. The crazy part is the monster was like begging not to be killed, but at the same time was so hungry that it felt like she was trying to kill. And I only say she was trying to kill because this seemingly is the mom of the little girl that saves our main character, the same main character who was like, oh yeah, nah, they're probably already dead, so why don't we just leave? Gets punched in his mouth, and they leave him out there. They left the one guy out there who, doesn't have any type of training to be killing and fighting what already has taken human life. So I guess he's capable of doing that. Maybe they thought he was capable of killing these monsters if it came down to it. But I think they were just done with him after he said that stupid crap and wanted him to understand that you're expendable and we're only doing this because, we accidentally dragged you into something. But if you're gonna act like that, we'll leave you in the dust, right? Like we'll leave you quick, fast, and in a hurry. So you better watch what you're saying. And I thought that was the most telling thing of the week's episode because, yeah, you said something that's horrible, but was other people thinking it? Sure. But you don't need to say it out loud, especially when it came down to the guy's granddaughter. Not even just his own daughter, but his granddaughter. He's like, yeah, she's probably already dead. Like, bruh. So, of course, he's the one that winds up bumping into the granddaughter to put him in better graces and make us all, as fans who are watching this, not hate him as much. In the case of he does protect her, pick her up, and run as fast as possible. But the problem then comes in with this woman straight up, or this monster, seemingly being the mother of this girl because the grandfather goes up to the body, notices something, and tries to shoo them out of the village as quickly as possible, almost as if them finding out about this is going to hurt the village in some type of way or shape or form, which I didn't understand. Or maybe this guy in this village knows something about how people were being used by the government in the case of they were either signing up willingly or maybe someone else was sending them, like the village chief was sending them out as like some code, or I don't even know. But regardless, I definitely am more interested in this show, seeing how monsters I thought were just going to be something roaming around. And this one was kind of roaming around, but it seems like she was roaming around for the reasons of knowing the area, because that's where she grew up. And that's where her daughter also was living. So, uh, pretty sad stuff when it comes down to how it plays out. But like I was saying, these things are very durable. Got hit by magic dead on, got shot a lot, and even when it was stabbed, it wasn't instantly killed. So these monsters are nothing to smirk at, and I can't wait to see what the show does with all of this information sooner than later. Because the guy looking for the sister, of course he's still gonna go look for her because he's scum, he's trash. But yeah, that being said, I'll talk to you in the next one. Alright, peace. Oh, yeah. The reason why this is the character I pick is this is literally Nemesis from Resident Evil. And if you don't know about Nemesis, he was an experiment meant to pretty much showcase the government that they could use the virus of zombies to their advantage with creating Nemesis, almost as if the monsters that exist in this world are being used to make stronger soldiers if they wanted to, right? Because why else would the government be interested in strengthening villagers who have no type of combat, if then you could turn even a villager woman into a deadly monster that obeys because of torture or whatever. So we'll see how that all plays out, if that is the case, or if I'm just drawing at straws. But with that being said, peace everybody.